assuming that he was going to play it as part of today. So I've just got the Wikipedia entry for predictive programming as I get entry to it. What it says is predictive programming is a recurring element across many conspiracy theories. The claim is that when conspirators plan a false flag operation, they hide references to it in the popular media before the atrocity takes place. When the event occurs, the public has softened up and therefore passively accepts it rather than offering resistance or opposition. The idea originates in conspiracist, what word is pareidolia?
Paradigm.
Yeah.
Paradigm?
Could be, yeah. Yeah, paradigm, but like the plural. Seeing the real world as a slightly surreal literary construct complete with foreshadowing. The theory is invoked to try to explain why anyone would even do such a thing in the real world. I won't go into that bit because it's probably wouldn't fit with what we're doing. But I mean, I'm not sure if I buy into it, but I just think this is an interesting possible example of it. This is the video from local Fort Worth TV on the morning of the assassination of the breakfast speech. And to set the scene for it, the commentator is killing time, waiting for JFK to come down and do the speech. So you can obviously see the people are sat waiting, and this is what he says.
When the president appeared out in the parking lot, he broke one of the cardinal rules of security. In fact, he broke it 2 or 3 times. He went out into the crowd, and of course, Secret Service men find this the most nervous time of any presidential appearance. As long as the Secret Service men can keep the crowd away from the president, they have a good chance of protecting him. But once he moves into a crowd, the Secret Service men are nearly immobilized in protecting him. Another rule is that anyone who approaches the president should have both hands visible and empty. And as you can tell in a crowd, there's no way to determine that. So whenever the president does move out into a crowd for handshaking and backslapping and exchanging pleasantries, he is always at the mercy of the crowd, and the Secret Service is at its least effective position. On September 6, 1901, those 2 rules were broken, and it ended in tragedy. That was the day that President William McKinley was appearing at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. And at a public reception, the crowd moved in around him, and the 3 Secret Service men who were guarding him had no chance to screen the people approaching him. Because it was a hot day, the Secret Service also allowed persons to have handkerchiefs in their hands to wipe their perspiring brows. It just so happened that one of the thousands of handkerchiefs in that large hall covered a revolver in the hand of 28-year-old Leon Cholgos. He was an unemployed mill worker. He said he was an anarchist. He was also was a man with a long history of mental illness. And as in many important occasions of the world, no one seemed to sense that anything different was going to happen. When McKinley reached out to shake Cholgos' hand, it looked like a familiar scene. The scene of the President of the United States shaking hands with Fred Nobody. The assassin shattered that picture quickly. He slapped McKinley's hand away and fired 2 shots point blank. In an instant, McKinley's attacker was driven to the floor. As the president was being helped to a chair, McKinley murmured, "Don't let them hurt him." 7 days later, McKinley was dead. Oddly enough, the assassination attempt was staged in the Temple of Music, quite an ironical note, and there was a quiet Bach sonata being played in the background when the 2 fatal shots rang out. Now here comes Vice President Johnson, Governor Conley, Senator Ralph Yarborough, Congressman Jim Wright, State Senator Don Kennard. But still, the president has not arrived. You may have heard the drums roll in the background in anticipation of it. When the president walks in, they will play Hail to the Chief. And now we expect any moment now the president to enter the hall. We can see a flurry of activity by Secret Service men in the kitchen, so we assume that as soon as the head table is seated, That is Governor Connolly, Vice President Lyndon Johnson, Senator Yarborough, and State Senator Don Kennard, Congressman Jim Wright, the President, will enter the ballroom. Serviceman who is one of the key operators here has just stepped into the kitchen, so we assume he is preparing the way for the President. He was due to arrive in the ballroom at 9 o'clock, and if my watch is correct, it's now 9:10, so he's running about 10 minutes behind schedule. Just what effect this will have on the length of his speech, we do not know. As we said earlier, normally in such instances, the speech is tailored to fit the time available, and there's not much time available. Here comes the President.
Yeah. 3 more, yeah.
Mrs. Kennedy did not enter with the President. So far, we have no indication of where she may be. And I can tell you from where we are standing, there are quite a few ladies who appear to be quite disappointed that Mrs. Kennedy is not here. I am sure that if she does not appear, the President will explain the reason for her absence.
So, we'll stop it there then. It's probably just a weird coincidence, but it's a bit odd. So,
Okay, right. That's what he was going to show, was it?
I think so, yeah.